Live stream is on.
Hey, good morning, everyone, or depends on where you're coming from. Good evening if you're across the world, across the globe. We've got people joining us here from Africa and India, North America, all over the place. And I'm joined here with my co-host, Mr. Tim Vasco, who is the co-founder, or not co-founder. I wish I was the co-founder, but the
co-founder. You just got a promotion.
I just got a promotion. Yeah, the founder of BlockCerts Blockchain, the CEO, and just about everything here at BlockCerts. So good morning to you, Tim.
Good morning, Dan. Friday morning live. Here we are live again. And yeah, it's been a crazy week at BlockCerts and in the world. And yeah, excited to be here as always.
As always.
To wrap up the week.
Yeah, and I just love what we're talking about this morning. And if you haven't joined us,
love what we're talking about.
Yeah, every Friday, and as we always say, it's like a blur every week, and then all of a sudden we're here again, and that's just because we love what we do, and it's just amazing what's happening in the Web 3.0
we're changing the world. What could be better, right?
I know, and
what could be better?
And this morning we're talking about something that only took about 20 years, a lot of grit, sacrifice, vision, and millions of development hours, and timing is everything, and I just get goosebumps when I think about what we're going to talk about this morning. So very exciting. Blockchain Crypto 1.0 plus Web 2.0 equals Web 3.0. And so let's get started, Tim.
Let's get started. Let's kick it off. You know, Dan, you just said something that reminded me of what my dad used to tell me, 20 years and lots of work and stress and all that. And Frank used to say, you know, there's plenty of time to sleep when you're dead. So this week was a lot of non-sleep, and the last 20 years, a lot of non-sleep, but you know, it's all worth it at the end.
It is. He must have known Elon Musk, because that's kind of an Elon Musk kind of a saying.
Well, that was a Frank Vasco saying before it was Elon.
Well, I was just going to say, Elon probably.
My dad, like me, doesn't like to tweet about it. We just go out and get
it done. Do it, right?
Just do it. That's right.
And Tim, I'm actually speaking from a hotel room here at the Culver Hotel in Culver City, California, and kind of some interesting.
Are they giving you a room for that endorsement? Just curious.
Yeah, they're our sponsor here this morning.
Awesome.
So just wanted to share, you know, coming from somewhere other than my office, which I'm usually in. So
isn't that nice? How's that feel?
It feels good. Very good to get out in the world again after a few years. So
well, we're unlocking the world. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
Talk about like what crypto 1.0 plus blockchain and crypto 1.0 plus Web 2.0 equal 3.0, or the function formula, and how blockchain outpaces crypto and trading now. So why and how is that happening is what we're going to talk about today, and let's get into it. First of all, here's our prediction, which is the 5 top big blockchain demands are going to already are outpacing crypto. And that means by a significant amount. So if you trade in crypto, that's one very small piece of this. And we're going to show you how that is. We're even going to stack up the numbers for you today. So why? I mean, we're just going to go through 5. 1, industry saves overhead and time. Where to look for 50 companies, big companies, like big, massive companies that already know that. 2, privacy insurance. There's a new one for you. Last week, we talked about new jobs. Now we're going to talk about whole new industries and industry segments. This idea of privacy insurance, how you can stay out of defending these accusations, costly litigation. The law firms may love it. Everybody else is going, wait a minute, there's got to be a better way.
Right. Well, I think, I don't know if it was on a webinar or just a call this week, but I just shared a statistic that 33% of the Fortune 500 is spent on defending legal actions. And so this is a huge area, of course.
If we can make law go the way of travel agencies, and same thing we're going to do with brokers and so forth, that's Web 3.0. And the world needs it, frankly.
It does.
And you know what we need? I've had that conversation too with law firms. I'm like, we need expertise. We don't need the waste. That's what we need. Yeah, right. So anyway, let's keep going. PR and adoption is a brand advantage. Wait a minute. What? This is branding. This is about branding. This is about, hey, who's embracing the future versus who's just riding the old wave and cramming stuff down our throats and stalking us instead of getting our permission for marketing. And that gets us into number 4, which is marketing is increasingly permission-based. And we'll talk about that today, and storage and security. Now, each one of those dots, and I don't mean to undermine storage security, that may be one of the biggest overall huge advantages that we all can do and take forward. But, each one of these dots represents why, in the numbers, like we're going to show you in the numbers why blockchain functionality outpaces crypto by far.
For sure.
So
what I love about this is it empowers the consumer, but it also makes a really strong brand connection with companies. Yeah. And we can talk about that as well.
So this guy who you may have heard of, Jack Dorsey, was featured in Forbes, the Blockchain 50. Go Google it. There's a good article on it. 50 companies. We picked a few up through Coinbase trading. Look at what the industries are, though. That's what's relevant here is what are the industries that are really adopting already right now? Yeah. So Adobe's naturally going to be doing NFTs. That makes sense. They're in the image business. But other industries that are not as obvious is insurance. Lots of insurance guys in here now. Lots and lots. Shipping, fintech, again, obvious, but mining. Of course, payments is Jack Dorsey. I think it was Stripe or one of those. Right. Crypto EFTs starting to trade. There's been one approved by the SEC out there. Airplane maintenance. So the next time you jump on a plane, all our pilot group out there, hey, there you go. You're in the right place with BlockCerts because we're maintaining planes and parts and maintenance schedules and everything. I like that. That one I really like. Because
I like that one a lot. Well, and we've got an airline in Africa that we're working with right now, and I won't say their name, but it's too early for that. But it's amazing what is happening. And even you mentioned Allianz Insurance there. When you think about looking at everything that's in your house and uploading that information to the blockchain, and if anything happens, you've got record and tracking of everything there. So it's all about tracking and transparency in every industry that you can think of.
Exactly. So let's go back to this circle number 1, and you guys can read what industries are there. I mean, it's crazy. And those are big names. There's your brand. We've talked about branding with NFTs, and there's your brand. Breitling is in the game. China construction is banking, and then, of course, trading. So these are just a few that I picked out of the article. Go read it. But the point being that that's number one. Why are these guys there? Like, think about it. They're there because there's cost savings, there's efficiency, there's overhead savings, and guess what? They know their bottom line is being affected by 33% with legal too. They understand that.
For sure.
People, that's a big number. And so we're looking at smart companies that are going, wait a minute, this thing rocks. And it's said right there by Dorsey. So who built a huge company. So, there you go. I mean, if that's not enough for you, let's go to circle number 2. Let's talk about that idea of privacy insurance. Okay. And I've put up something here on every one of these slides that shows you a snippet of what we built at BlockCerts Blockchain. So ID Certain is one of our leading platform functions. It's in the protocol. You cannot do anything without first protecting yourself. Right. It's like, I love to sail. Everybody knows that. And every time now there's a law in Canada and most places in the United States, you walk down on the dock and it's like children don't float. And there's actually loaner life jackets there, right? Wow. Put on your life jacket. It doesn't mean you can't have fun. In fact, you can have a hell of a lot more fun. And if you fall in the water, I'm going to hit my watch. I'm going to put an MOB or man overboard marker out. I'm going to pick you up, and you're going to live through it, right? As opposed to getting out there and killing yourself. So where I live, there are people who die every summer and all year round because they don't wear a damn life jacket, right?
Right.
Put on your life jacket.
Well, even a story, my own personal story. A couple of years ago, I was contacted by the U.S. Postal Service because somebody had stolen my identity, had created a driver's license with their picture on it, with all of my contact information, and it was a full scam that they were doing. But I was caught up in that with about 20 other people that happened to, and it took me years to unwind that. And that's not something anybody wants to go through. So protect yourself.
When you're looking at this is a function that's live on BlockCerts right now. And, all of these things have been live. You've just got to get out there and start using it and get engaged. And this guy has better things to do, honestly, and really was the one we pointed out last week that said Web 3.0 is real. It's here in their quarterly earnings call.
Right.
He doesn't want to be in those lawsuits any more than anybody else.
No.
And they're smart, brilliant people that run these organizations from Web 2.0. They know the transitions there. Question is, do you? And are you doing something about it? Or do you still think this is about crypto trading? Right?
Yeah. And so, Tim, just to make one quick point of all those huge companies, those are companies that have the coffers, they have the money to go in and program and do all the blockchain work, which is very expensive, very complicated. But the point there is that that was kind of leading edge. But now the opportunity is for every company, every business on blockchain. And that's what we're talking about. You don't have to have huge budgets to now get on the blockchain. And we're commercializing this so that you can get on the blockchain and get all of the benefits that these other big companies are now starting to see.
Exactly, Dan. And that's why our weeks are so long, because so many innovative, smaller companies and big companies are calling us saying, how do we do this, guys? And we just keep giving that information out. But I call that the golden age of transformation of power of technology. That's really what we're in. This is a golden age that we should all recognize. And this transformation of power, and it's shifting in a big way. Look at this. Meta, they changed their name, but what else did they change? Right? And they just got killed. They spent $3.3 billion changing their name. $3.3 billion. And they're battling what? Video. Well, guess what? Here we are. This video on Meet Certain, also live, also accessible to every person on the planet right now, is encrypted with recordings. It's completely out there for you to use. And you got all of this power with decentralized authority over what you do with it. So where is video going? We all use it. You know,
Right.
it's common. It's the way to meet now. So meet certain, right? That's why
Right.
each one of these, I was looking at this, I'm like, yeah, got that, check, 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 check. And that's why it took a platform to do this. Not a one-off, not an app, not a, you know, do one thing, which I've been told all my life, Tim, just focus on
do
one
thing.
So more power to the ADD people out there. Be creative.
The crazies, right, Tim?
Yeah,
we
the
always
crazies.
talk about, you know, power to
Be
the crazies.
absolutely crazy. Get out there. You got to mix it up. It's the web isn't one thing that you do. It never has been. Ever since the beginning. What did Microsoft do? How many pieces did they combine in the original Microsoft package that killed the one-off guys back then?
Right. Lotus Notes.
WordPerfect and Excel. How many of you guys use WordPerfect and Excel?
Yeah, for sure.
I was loyal as hell until Gates comes out and says, hey, how about I give you all three of those for the price of one?
Right.
And then what happened? There's this little company called Microsoft.
Little Office.
Yeah,
Office is born.
Office.
Yeah.
Right. And that was when our technology was very young, but people recognize the value of it. So wake up. Like, that's what the world has always been, and that's what it is today, right?
Right. And I just want to point out, you can change a name, Facebook to Meta, but you still are centralized and you still are doing the same things that you've been doing. So, and it's really hard, very difficult to make a change on a whole new platform, a whole new industry, new technology.
Or can you even make that change, right? I mean, really, when it comes right down to it, can you make the change and so forth? Technically, from a business cash flow standpoint, some businesses who need these tools, like the first 50 we showed you, aren't marketing the actual tech. Right? They're using users. So that's a use case that doesn't really, it affects their bottom line in a positive way. When you start taking these companies that have been monetizing data, your data, my data, and they've been taking that's a fundamental shift that is a entire industry organizational shift. It's a different thing, right? It's completely different. Sure. It's actually cannibalizing what your business model is. That's a much tougher shift. Even if they could do it technically, would they? They just spent $3.3 billion. Where do you think they got it from? My data.
Right.
Not my data. You. Not use Facebook, but from Dan's data. I don't know. Everybody else's data.
Everybody else's. Yeah. I'm not a Facebooker, but yeah.
Okay. So let's go into crypto. We talked about Crypto One. Here's a company. Norton has already started this turn apps and idle time into cash. So there's been a lot of early exploration on that. This is proof of work. This is how you make a green blockchain. Exactly what we've done on BlockCerts is we've made a green blockchain. So when you're running these transactions, when your system is not busy, you actually are authenticating everybody else's stuff. That's how we create immutability. That's how the whole blockchain works. But guess what? There's a reward system in there. Is that in BlockCerts? Yeah. Yep. And you're going to start seeing it more and more. 2022. Right. We're telling you about it.
The community is going to love that.
Yeah. So it's just cash flow. Why not? You're sleeping anyway. But your computer, even though it's sleeping, is sitting there and it's all protected and it's doing these things. It takes a lot of tech to do that, but it's pretty cool. And again, big company, security company out there pulling that off. Marketing. Here you go. It says it all right there. That's our next circle on the chart, which is the future of permission-based advertising and data ownership in today's digital landscape is going to be based around privacy. All right. So market certain. Our model for this, which we're really rolling out full scale later this year, is really, really fascinating. And it's something that's been the original like monetization driver of the internet. This is where the idea of how Google, whose its giant cash flows from marketing, it's a marketing machine, is gonna shift a lot. And you can bet that there are some massive initiatives at Google to make permission-based marketing. Like I said, that guy's got better things to do than go answer these all of these accusations, whether they're true or not, or what have you, or it's not run the way it needs to be run in the future. The point is, there's literally trillions of dollars behind that.
Right.
And
yeah, and just as an example, permission-based marketing. So, I have an interest in cycling because I'm a road cyclist. So I might allow some companies to provide information to me. Whereas just because I'm a cyclist doesn't mean that I also want a bunch of other ads coming to me, maybe travel ads and other things that might be associated with cycling. But I have the keys to allow that to happen and to have the modern conveniences of what I want to see versus what is pushed upon me. And then also with that, making sure that that's all safe and protected and my information isn't being sold.
So wouldn't it be great, Dan, if we could give you a way to filter your marketing? Nobody knew who you were. And then when you're interested, so you get all the conveniences of today.
Right.
And then when you're interested, you invite them in, just like you would invite somebody you really like over to your house.
Exactly. And then wouldn't it also be cool if you could monetize that? If I'm a person that is interested in looking at this, shouldn't I receive a little something for it?
Exactly. Exactly. So, because they're using your stats. That's how they're building their marketing campaigns. We know that. You're a marketer. You're
exactly.
Chief Marketing Officer. So we got some very cool business models that we'll be rolling out, but the functionality is there. It's actually there. And we've got people who really, 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 really want to use this right now. And we're like, it's like holding horses back from the gate. We're like, it's coming, but we're going to do it right. We're not going to let you do Web 2.0. We're going to build the business model around it. Would it be easier for us to just unleash this and let all of that start happening? Yes, but we're not going to go Web 2.0. We've had the discipline to build this. We're going to have the discipline to build proper business models and make the impact what it should be for the world, right?
And you're probably hearing Frank in your ear saying, son, one thing.
Yeah. So let's go to the next one, which is what we really all need to know about is this idea of data and storage. That's the our circle number 5 today. Data file sharing management. All of this happens on this really cool tech. It's been around. It's been being developed for well over a dozen years. Back in those days, couldn't get funded, but you did end up with a Dropbox and Box and those kinds of things. Now we've got all of this being used, and there's this word called, or this little acronym NFT out there, Dan, that everybody thinks that's blockchain. Well, actually, it uses storage. It's too expensive to store on the blockchain. So you use this decentralized storage system, which is where all those NFTs are. That's what's getting hacked. That's what has not been managed fully all the way through to get it to be completely immutable, except with BlockCerts and with our NFT marketplace we're launching, spoiler alert, a week from today, world premiere, don't miss it. But that is what we've done, the authenticated model for these NFTs. And we're going to show you what next week, when we launch this, we're going to show you what NFTs actually mean.
What they really are.
The reality of what NFTs really are. But understand something. this idea of storage, authentication, security, privacy, all of that comes together in one model and creates this massive shift, this golden age of the way technology comes together for every person, really.
Right. And Tim, doesn't it make sense that you NFT everything that's important to you? Like, you know, we saw NFTs initially, you know, it's artwork and people think of
Spoiler
that.
alert, Dan. Spoiler. We're supposed to talk about that next week.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tim. Ah.
God, man, it's just so hard to put a
muzzle on that man.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going on. We're moving on. Dan's going to let the cat out of the bag already. Shifting markets. There you go. So why is this bigger than why is this bigger than crypto trading? Crypto trading hit its peak, I think around 2.3, 2.5 trillion. You know, you can say that quick, 2.3, 2.5 trillion. The interesting thing about that is here's one market. One market is insurance. I showed you when we started out, the insurance market, it's predicted that this one market is worth $1.8 trillion, property and casualty insurance. Now, all of that privacy insurance and everything is going to fit in here because that's what insurance does. It's a well-established way of managing risk in an organization or in our personal lives, right? Why do you insure your house? Why do you insure your car? Why do you insure your life? Because if something happens, there's some money there to take care of that problem, right?
And then, Tim, there's also so much fraud in insurance. And this is just such a huge component, both for the consumer, but also for insurance companies.
Well, and you can see that. You can see where it's starting, which is insurance companies that are effectively selling the analysis of statistics,
right?
Actuarial science. That's what it is. It's actuarial science. One of our first developers came to us, really brilliant guys at Amazon now, came to us from an insurance company, and we were talking about actuarials way back. And so the idea of this math has given rise to, well, we could insure that, work a margin into it, call it a premium, take the risk off of the company. So if something happens, they can continue on and we'll take care of the problem. That's insurance in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with families and life. Frank was in the insurance business. I learned a lot about it. Was my first career. And this is one industry. If you look at those numbers, in 20 years, it's going to more than double to $4.3 trillion. And they're already in it on the back end. What do you think is going to happen on the front end of everything we just talked about?
There's huge cost savings here.
So when we do that, we're also, and this is live as of this week, fully live, our Vault Certain is out for everybody now. It's out of beta, and it's in the public beta now, I guess I should say, and you can download it. But all of this security and safety and everything starts right here. Because now you have this kind of idea of what Vault Certain should be. It should be about your life, what you control, how you put your data. It's not just about your finances anymore. It's about the data that is encircling you every single day, every time you click. And how do you start getting control of that? No different than when you started, when your parents sent you out of the house and said, manage your money. Well, today you better manage your data. And, you know, that's what the reality of it is. So Vault Certain is out there.
Yeah, everything from passwords to everything else in your life, you want to protect it, and you want it to be very easily accessible, but only to you, not to anybody else.
Exactly. So we promised everybody we'd say, why is function outstripping crypto trading? Here you go. Here's the numbers in a nutshell. There's our 5 circles. The supply chain industry, that's all of that tracking and flow stuff, is a $17.5 billion industry in 2021, going to go to $31 billion. The privacy insurance, the insurance industry, P&C, property and casualty industry, 2.1 trillion 2021, 4.3 trillion. that does not include the costs you were talking about, Dan. That's just
correct.
premiums. That's just premiums. That's just what's paid for that industry. Okay. That PR and adoption is a brand advantage. PR was a $92.55 billion industry. It's now moving towards 2026, 5 years to $150 billion. Marketing increasingly becoming permission-based, digital marketing, 438 billion globally, moving to 790 billion, $1 trillion, call it, round, give or take a few hundred billion. Right? And finally, storage and security, 180 billion predictions to go to 372 billion. Add all that up, and the grand total becomes drum roll, please. And in $2.83 trillion today, moving to $5.643 trillion. Compare that to the crypto market. So on the left-hand side is the function market. On the right-hand side is the crypto market. The entire crypto market at 2.3 trillion, led by Bitcoin, that hovers around 50 to 60% of that market. One function. That's one function. Yes, it's a coin, but it's one function. So that leaves all others at 1.3 trillion. If you add everything together, this entire ecosystem adds up to be about $14.5 trillion. I see my number missed the deck here, but that's about $14.65 trillion today if we include fintech. So I excluded the one thing that's massive adoption in this entire presentation and World From Here today. We know the world from here is adopting fintech at a massive rate. $9.82 trillion is financial services in fintech alone this last year.
Wow.
So look at these top fintech segments by transaction value in millions: digital payments, personal finance, alternative lending, and alternative finance. It's not surprising that you see blockchain in those markets because they're quick cash, they're liquid markets, and that's where you're going to get the vast number of financial people to go put their money, in out. That's how the markets work, and more power to them. Very few, as we started out today, will be crazy enough to stick it out to build this kind of core functionality. But what wins in the end?
Yeah, right? And as you know, Tim, the Singapore FinTech Festival just in November, Web 3.0 was all over the place. It was the leading topic, and every single fintech, every single bank, anybody who was anyone was there. And as a part of that, their next 2 years, it's just all about how can we hurry in this race to be Web 3.0.
That's right. So fintech is always going to lead the way. And we've got our fintech components, our pay cert and everything. We didn't even talk about that. We eliminated I intentionally eliminated the biggest part of the market, which is there because every business will be its own bank at the end of this.
Right. And
that's happening right now. So here's how it stacks up right there. Actually, it is on the slide. I missed it. I forgot we had this. We have 12.65 trillion plus the crypto market of 2.3 trillion. See the difference there?
Yeah.
Equals 14.95 trillion, which is 67%, almost 70% of the entire financial services market. The financial services industry was $22.5 trillion in 2021. We're already at 70% of every financial service on the planet in functionality and blockchain. So
and usually
tells everybody who's listening, get on with it. Web 3.0 is here and the blockchain is here and there's functionality. And that was the point of today's discussion, Dan.
Absolutely. And you usually don't think of banks as being early adopters, movers and shakers, but they had to protect what they do, and so that others wouldn't
eliminate
them from existence.
Jamie Dimon is a perfect example. Blockchain, Bitcoin is the tool-up industry. Like we talked about that years ago.
2 years ago.
Right?
Yeah.
And here you go, like one of the biggest players. And you see Mellon and all these guys doing this in their core business. Again,
Right.
It's their core business. It makes sense. Why wouldn't they? Are they going to go? Banks have never told you what they're doing behind the scenes. Why would they have told you when this was emerging? And they still won't.
And that's because banks want to corner what they have and what they've always had. And this is a way to do that.
And that whole goes back into a discussion that's way beyond, we're already out of time, but
Correct.
that goes into open banking and all of that kind of stuff. So the idea is that this is completely merged into a new model of business. That's why it's the golden age. It's a new model of integration. And I just love this closing comment by one of my favorite Buddhist authors that I've studied a lot, Pema Chodron, that says the future is currently open and we are writing it moment to moment. The only thing I'd change is click to click. You've made this internet, you've made it happen, and if you're going to make 3.0 happen, Web 3.0, it's happening now at BlockCerts. We are a functionality platform. We are the utility blockchain. We are the authenticated blockchain. That's who we are, and that's why we bring you this stuff. So today we're out of time. We went a little bit over. Apologize about that, but really the future is completely open, and you are riding it moment to moment. Jump on board with us, and namaste. Thank you for joining us. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay digital. Dan, back to you.
Thank you very much, Tim. Yeah, subscribe and give us the thumbs up if you like what we say. And then also just become a part of the community. There are benefits for everyone who is riding on the community, not only in all of the benefits of the blockchain being transparent and private, all those things, but benefits in terms of rewards back to you. So we encourage you to get involved and give us a call. Let us know, and we'd like to get involved with you as well.
Jump
So
on
thank
our
you,
communities,
Tim.
and yeah, we got trillions of dollars waiting to get you involved in. So you get control of it.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
People.